Increased number of voters think Joe Biden shouldn't be running. Oh my God. Guys, I don't know anything about politics. Is this good? Is it good? I think we can get 100% of the American voters to say that Biden doesn't have the mental health and cognitive health to serve as president.
How damaging is this to Biden? What's the campaign strategy here?
Well, it's really damaging. I mean, you see it from some of the president's closest and most important allies outside of public office, editorial writers saying that this was a disaster of a debate performance, and that if Biden continues on like this, it will lead inevitably to a Donald Trump return to the White House.
And John, you've been telling us all about the text messages you've been receiving. There are calls for the Democratic Party to replace Biden on that ticket. Even the New York Times, though, the editorial board there says that Biden should drop out of the race. Is that even realistic? And how does that even happen?
Those calls are real. I mean, for the most part, they are coming, at least publicly, from people outside of public office, like the New York Times editorial board. But look, there really is no way, at least that I can find, and I've been talking to a lot of people about this, there is no way to replace Joe Biden unless Joe Biden himself decides it is time to step down. The big question.
Yeah, they're having this conversation today as we speak behind closed doors, which is pretty crazy to think about. But Joe Biden is having this convo with his family right now. Oh my God, bro. They're describing sundowning. Inside the White House, there are sometimes two Bidens. America saw the other one Thursday night. My look inside the White House on why Thursday left some Biden aides shaken and worried whether Biden could do another 4-year term. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Biden is dependably engaged, and many of his public events in front of cameras are held within those hours. Outside of that time range or while traveling abroad, the other Biden is more likely to emerge in verbal miscues, become fatigued, and aides say. It's called sundowning, man. I don't know why they're writing articles like this. It's like, yeah, he's old as and he's demented. All right, what are we talking about? And those hours of the day are going to get smaller and smaller. If you look back probably in like 2018, 2019, there probably wasn't that many hours in the day where he like was kind of fucking cooked. He's losing the grip he had on reality. The world hates a sleepy guy for real is so yeah, you're right. He's just a little eepy, dude. I don't understand it. Like, it's pretty funny because we talked about how like mentally unfit Donald Trump was to be president, and it's true. And it's like now we just have a literal dude whose brain is melting. Like, who do you want to have the nuclear launch codes? It's like, do you want Grandpa, who you don't trust behind the wheel, or do you want the other Grandpa who's like way more racist? It's great. Wonderful stuff. American democracy.
A new CBS YouGov poll out this morning that was taken after the debate finds that 72% of voters now say they do not think President Biden has the mental or cognitive.
Is that good? I can't tell. Like, this is good, right? It's a good thing.
Health to serve as president. Here with me now is one of the top officials in the Democrat.
Excuse me, it's not 100%. Can't argue with that, right? There's still around almost 30%. Okay, less than 30%, but close to 30% of Americans that think he is mentally fit to run for president.
Democratic Party, a close ally of President Biden, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Thank you so much for being here. What is your reaction to that poll? 72% of voters say they don't think that the president.
By the way, old fans of the show know that's a classic lock. That's another classic HasanAbi rule. You can always get 20 to 30% of Americans to agree to anything, no matter how insane it is. Okay, always. You can get 20 to 30% of Americans to say, "Nah, Biden is mentally fit to run for president again. He's the best guy." I'm telling you, always.
Well, what do they think about the other guy? Do they think that he has the integrity to be president after that performance? Let us not make a judgment about a presidency on one debate. Let's talk about what it means to people in their lives. And that's why you're not seeing much change in the polls on this. The difference between Joe Biden and the former president is so clear. If you are a woman and you care about your reproductive freedom and your health, and women do, you see a complete difference between enforce a woman's right to choose on the part of Joe Biden and a ban on abortion with him. The list goes on and on, whether you're talking about guns and the rest. And 16 Nobel laureates said when it comes to inflation, if the other guy gets elected, inflation will soar because of his fiscal policies.
Oh, okay. I guess it's fine that he's like demonstrably mentally not with it. If 16 Nobel laureates said so. You didn't even answer the question, dumb. She says 16 Nobel laureates.
So it's not about performance in terms of a debate. It's about performance in a presidency. And I want you to know that the fact is that the reaction to the lies of Donald Trump is something that maybe TV isn't focusing on, but people are. And to have a debate where you have to spend half your time negating what he said because he has knows nothing about the truth. On one side of the screen, you have integrity. The other side, you have dishonesty.
Yeah, and we have definitely.
Yo, the question is not like whose track record is worse. Like, yeah, the voters voted on that in 2020. We already know. I was one of them. Like, I was a voter who voted on that, right? But it's like, what are we doing here? What's going on? That's not the question. The question is, he is not getting us across the finish line. Like, he can't speak good. He can't think good. You cannot be like, oh, this guy's a great track record of integrity. You're way out of this shit, okay? He's like stumbling. His ears are leaking the remainder of his brain. What the Yeah, bro, you're right. He can't even stare good. He can't speak good. He can't think good. He can't even look good. Like, he can't physically stare good, okay? I feel like once you can't do that, like, you can't be president. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. Except I just made that rule, and I think it's a pretty good rule. Like, he was literally like this the whole time. Doing that Al Pacino face, bro. We beat Medicare. You can't do that. You can't do that. Is that ableism? Yeah, bro, it's ableism. And guess what? I'm ableist. I am ableist, bro. The president cannot be demented, okay? That's insane. It's like I'm ableist when it comes to blind people driving, okay? Blind people shouldn't be able to drive. Sorry, I'm ableist in that regard. That's like not ableism. It's just being normal and smart and actually competent, okay? Like stop tying ableism into like genuine valid rules and restrictions. I want an autistic president, not a sea lion. Well, thank you. Exactly. At least that way we get trains. You know what I mean? You wear glasses, mind you. Exactly, bro. And if I didn't wear these shits, then I couldn't drive. It's the law. And that's a good law, by the way. What are we talking about? Yeah, exactly.
What you just did, Madam Speaker, was make the argument for Joe Biden's reelection in a way that he did not on Thursday night. Isn't that a problem?
I don't think it's a problem. It's a bad night. I see everything as an opportunity. Okay, you want to contrast what these people can do in a debate?
It's so funny having literally the second crypt keeper. Like, the only thing on Nancy Pelosi that is below the age where you should be allowed to drive is her titties. Everything else is like 800 years old too. Like, what are we talking about? Like, why is she the one talking about this? Yes, chatters, I'm saying she has a boob job. Okay, come on. It's just like, why is she the one being like, oh my God, yeah, I don't understand what you're saying about Joe Biden's age. I think he's perfectly virile. He's a snapping young man. He's a dashing young man. I also am 800 years old. It's like, yeah, you should not also be in power. It's crazy. We got one here. We busted out another corpse. Go home. Your husband is having gay sex. Go home to your husband. What are you doing in Congress still? The fuck?
You're not even telling the truth. Or do you want to talk what it means to you in your life when this person becomes president? This president, look, he lied about Daniel.
Yeah, they're going to roll out Jimmy Carter. Be like, sir, Mr. President, President Carter, sir, a lot of people have said that Biden's age represents senility. What would you have to say? And he's like, ah! And then he dies on camera. Dana Bash's like, and that was Jimmy Carter. How old can we go? How old can we go? We could go older. They should roll out the D-Day veterans again, the remaining 8 World War II veterans. Put them in front of a camera and be like, what do you guys think about how old Biden is?
January 6th, this was a horrible event in our country's history. He was the president of the United States who instigated an insurrection. He tries to blame it on me. Yeah, I planned my own assassination when he was sitting on his butt in the White House, not sending the National Guard and lying about it on the show. And
dude, I swear to God, Riz means so much. even in politics, it's just like there's nothing, there is not even anything remotely like appealing about Nancy Pelosi. She's not even wrong. Like, she's literally talking about how Trump lied about January 6th. And I'm over here, and it's just like, I'm over here being like, yeah, but like maybe they had a point, you know? Like, I'm reconsidering my position. The more I hear her speak, the more I'm like, maybe January 6th was valid. It's just, yeah, I know it's aura now, Unc. I know. Aura is important, okay? Like, she is so unappealing. She has nothing, no qualities that are like, that make me want to go out to bat for her, make me want to defend her. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, he was sitting on his butt while they were trying to assassinate me. It's true. It's literally true. It's so stupid to say, yeah, Nancy Pelosi did January 6th. You know, she really wanted every HVAC business owner, who are heroes, by the way, and patriots, heroes and patriots, God-fearing patriots. Thank God for our HVAC business owners, braver than the American military. Are you buzzed, bro? No, I'm just tired. Those HVAC business owners wanted to take on her desk, and by God, now that I've seen an alternative universe where HVAC business owners do not exist, like in Europe, and you can get a heat stroke at like 75 degrees out here. they can do that. They can take wherever they want. I love America, and I love my HVAC business owners, man.
People are well-meaning. I had one of your reporters say, did he really send the National Guard? No, if they don't even know, then how can we make a judgment about how other people evaluate a presentation? So this is a dangerous person, as opposed to a person who, again, saved our country from COVID. The first bill we passed, shots in the arms, money in pocket, people in jobs, children at school. This president, with his denial and...
Bro, she's not doing a good job demonstrating her lack of senility. She literally is like, what is going on? I know what's going on. I already know. You already know. We've been saying this for a long time. But it's so funny to me that she's like, he's so good. He shot an arm. Money pocket. School open. Let me go. I'm so old. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die, Dana. No further questions, Dana. I might die up in this. Holy shit. My take on this, I think, is pretty sane. If you don't trust them behind the wheel of a car, you don't trust them with the nuclear launch codes. That's it, okay? I do not trust Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Joe Brandon, John Fetterman behind the wheel of a car, okay? I just don't. They're so old, man. Dianne Feinstein is dead now, but I'm just saying, like, Mitch McConnell's another one. Oh, my God.
A delay caused people to die.
Yeah, and I completely understand what you're doing, and you are making the arguments.
What's up with them? What is her libs doing? Look at what's going on here.
I completely understand what you're doing, and you are making the arguments that you are hoping that Democratic voters...
Is she moving that zin around? What's happening here? What the is going on?
That you are hoping that Democratic voters listen to about why Donald Trump is...
Oh my God. If I was like, dude, it is impossible not to be a right winger and be a conservative theorist and not be a conservative theory believer, or conservative theory. What am I saying? Conspiracy theory believer. See, my brain is up. My brain is fried. I'm not running for Congress though. Also, I'm coming off of an insane flight, but it's just like, if I'm a conservative dude, and I watch CNN and I see Nancy Pelosi do that, I'm like, that's a lizard. That is straight up a lizard. What else?
We're hoping that Democratic voters listen to.
He's like, what are you doing? Trying to taste the air? What's going on?
And by the way, while the press, and for some reason they don't, there are healthcare professionals who think that Trump has dementia, that his thoughts do not go together.
I'm sorry, Nancy, you are the worst person to be making this argument right now. The David Pakman. Like, at least David is a good person to make this argument, because, you know, he's not 800 years old. A lot of people are saying Trump has dementia. Good technique. Yeah, no, you're right. Trump is insane. Okay, he's an insane person. He's a very incompetent person. He's a very selfish person. All of these things are true. And yet it don't matter because everyone can look at Donald Trump and look at Joe Biden and go, oh my God, one of these guys is significantly in a worse state. That's it. That's it. Like, and this is what I've been saying day one. And it's not like it's a done deal. It's not like it's a done deal. That's why people are like, bro, please save the Democratic Party. Please, what the fuck are you guys doing? People that care about the Democratic Party's prospects significantly more than me, like the Pod Johns, are saying this shit. Like I've given up. I'm black-pilled, okay? I'm gonna be honest. It's just I've seen too many of these. I've seen too many of these elections come and go. I know that these guys are the worst. I know that they don't give a fuck about anything, and they certainly don't give a fuck about winning elections. Like they don't. They don't give a fuck about it. Because if they did, they would fire some people, okay? Every now and then.
He just lies. He doesn't even know the truth. So if we're just talking about mental acuity, let's be fair about it. I don't think Tom Friedman thinks that, that Donald Trump should be president of the United States. And, while he may be saying we're in...
Yes, Nancy, that's the real reason. That's the reason why everyone at the New York Times is literally saying Joe Biden drop out or else Trump is going to be president. We don't want Trump to be president. That's what they keep saying. It's not like they're like, we love Donald Trump. We want Donald Trump to be president. That's why we think Joe Biden should drop out. Your argument makes no dang sense. Everyone that cares a heck of a lot more than I do about the Democratic Party winning is crying right now. Oh, no, this is what we were waiting for. Oh no, the Camp David summit ended. Oh no. New with Peter Baker, New York Times. Family wants him to stay in. Bro, they hate his... I swear to God, they hate his ass, bro. They're like, no, let him... It's over.
We see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issues, how informed he is. And I debate with him about legislation, and not debate, but discuss it with him. He's right there. So in any case... It was a bad...
Yeah, you guys can yell up and down and swear that Joe Biden is so good. He's just such a dynamo behind closed doors. It's just not happening. You can't convince the American public. The American public is already convinced that he's not. And at a time when you need those people to be like, oh, I want an energetic person who's actually going to fight the good fight and not a cadaver. At a time when you desperately need that to win, you can't do that. And the thing is, the loyalists will vote. They'll go out and vote. Polls haven't moved that much, right? That's what they'll say.
Let's not sugarcoat that. It was a bad night. It was a great presidency. And that's what the American people have to choose. A night where somebody's going to just misrepresent the facts completely, and then you're on your guard. The other person has to negate that, or again, it was a bad night. Let's move on from that. It's all an opportunity. Our members have been very thoughtful. They're very...
It's just such a massive L too, because they personally thought that this was going to be a banger. Biden was going to go out there. He was going to be fine. And then he wasn't. And then now they're like, just move on from it. It's like, bro, you put it together. The Democratic Party, Joe Biden re-election campaign suggested that there should be a debate at the date that it was done at, early as specifically so that people would go, yeah, see, all the rumors about his mental faculties declining is unfounded, and he failed to deliver on that.
As Hakeem has said, we'll have our discussions as we go forward. But how do we walk away from a record of great performance on the part of this president with a promise to do more in terms of all the issues we talked about, and what we like to see, us and some of the women's caucus, womenomics, where women in the workplace, where we have family and medical leave, where we have affordable child care, where we have home health care for women who are caregivers. Men are caregivers too, so that we can have an economy where everyone participates to the fullest and children are cared for, because it's all about the children. So it's difficult. Politics is difficult. It's never easy. And again, members...
I feel like I don't get it. Like, it doesn't have to be him. Like, what? Why is it? Why are they like, dude, if it's not Joe Biden, we will all get ritualistically suicided. She's on there holding on for dear life, dude. She's like, no, you don't understand. Politics is difficult. And sometimes you have to let a cadaver go. Okay. And by that, I don't mean like let him drop from the race and then appoint someone else who's competent. I mean, like, you have to let him go across the finish line as a dead man. They're making it seem like is done. Like, the convention hasn't even happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. Why are we acting like, the election is tomorrow? These are times when I'm like, where's the Illuminati, man? Where every dumb guy is always chirping about the Illuminati. It's like, dude, you think like, why can't the Illuminati just like assassinate Joe Biden then, if that's real? If that was a real thing, that's what they would do. They would just like swap him out with like a clone. People also think that like, people always be like, oh, the Illuminati, they got lizard people, they got clones. It's like, okay, why won't they put a Joe Biden clone that's like significantly younger? This clone is busted. It's a dud. Get a new clone.
Just real quick, because you mentioned that you have been a party chair before. Is there even a mechanism that you think would work if President Biden did decide to step aside? The campaign says that it would cause weeks of chaos and internal food fighting. Well,
Again, there's nothing as well as just as
like, listen,
Joe Biden getting.
Like, I've been doing this since the 60s. Okay, food fights are good. Sometimes you open your mouth up in the middle of a food fight and a little cupcake comes in there. Delicious, yummy cupcake. Food fights are great. Who said food fights are bad? I love food fighting. I love food. I love kids sitting on my lap, Jack. Corn Pop was a bad guy. It was a bad dude. Foo Fighters, my favorite band. Dave Grohl. Remember what Dave Grohl said about Taylor Swift the other day? Dave Grohl, you done fought for your food. That's what you done did. I love food. Food is my favorite. My favorite fruit is corn, just like Corn Pop. Reminds me of Corn Pop. He's a bad guy. I got hairy legs. This is what we're doing. This is what she's doing.
Taking the ball over the finish line. Something else could be chaotic. I don't say that to say that could never happen, because it might. I don't mean now. I mean, in history, it could. But understand this. This is really important for people to understand. Joe Biden has won the nomination. He has won the nomination.
Bro, he didn't run against anybody. He defeated Cenk and like Dean Phillips. What the are you talking about? Oh yeah, he won the nomination. Oh, that's sick, man. It's like me if I destroyed like kindergartners in basketball, and I'm like, yeah, that's right, baby. That's right. I'm the champion. I'm basically LeBron now because I absolutely destroyed a bunch of kindergartners in basketball. It's like, sorry, primaries are over. Very tough competition. You don't understand. Very tough competition in the primaries. Marianne Williamson, Cenk, Unk, and Dean Phillips. That's not a real primary. I'm sorry.
But not officially. He hasn't been. The roll call hasn't happened.
Yeah, but no, the roll call has been happening around the country because of the timing of the election. It's a very different year.
Got it.
And so you would have to undo the nomination to do something else. That would not be a reason to do it or not do it. The question is, Joe Biden's decision to go forward is a decision that we will all embrace because of the record he has and the performance that will come with it and the contrast.
Bro, I really love that that's the new talking point. They're going to be running with this like, well, the American Democratic Party primary voters spoke. They spoke out and they said, we want Joe. We demand Joe. Like, they're going to gaslight us into acting like this was a real primary. That's what's going on here. I can tell. Real problem is the American people didn't have any real options. So much so that they voted for uncommitted by margins that Joe Biden actually lost in a bunch of those states where people voted uncommitted by the tens of thousands. So that's another really scary circumstance. You are losing percentages of the most active base of support within the Democratic Party in the primaries, in an uncontested primary. That is really bad.
Life, job creation, reducing inflation, saving the planet, stopping the gun violence. The list goes on and on. Right. LGBTQ rights and all the rest. Okay. There's so much at stake, including our democracy. Our flag is still there. with liberty and justice.
I saw someone on Twitter say they can't change the candidate because they've already raised millions for Biden. Those donations can be transferred to another candidate. Is that true? What are you doing? No, you absolutely can. No, you absolutely can. These guys have like war purses, basically. What do you think happens to the campaign contributions that go unspent at the end of a run? One, there's a shit ton of PACs out there, regardless, that can spend on whatever the fuck they want. And two, you absolutely can. You just take it and you dump it back into a larger purse.
Pressure from panicked Democrats to reconsider his reelection bid, and amid persistent concerns about his capabilities following CNN's presidential debate. Yesterday evening, Biden's campaign brushed off those concerns, including from a stack of newspaper editorials this weekend urging him to step aside. As top campaign officials argued, the panic is coming from, quote, the bedwetting brigade and the Beltway class, and does not reflect voters' views. Biden himself told donors in New Jersey yesterday, quote, I understand the concern after the debate. I get it. I didn't have a great night, but I'm going to be fighting harder. And a senior campaign official told me that the president has not wavered.
Dude, this is so bad. Just like, no, I promise. Give me one more shot, please. Please keep giving me money. Please, I promise. Yo, things are going to be so different next time around. We're going to do a second debate. I promise. Yeah, no, it is exactly what that is. Kakarin, you're absolutely correct. At this point, it's got to be the donors coming in and telling him to get the fuck out, or they leave to make him drop the race. No, that's precisely what's going on. That's exactly what it is. That's why the New York Times article was so important, because you don't give a shit. You already have made up your mind about Biden. Many voters have already given up their minds about Biden. They've made up their minds. They are going to either vote for him regardless of his senility, or he's already and also being senile on top of that is not motivating them to go out and vote for him, right? The donors, on the other hand, do read the New York Times. They're the ones who want a return on that investment. They don't give you money just because they like you. They give you money because they want a return on that investment. If they no longer consider your reelection chances to be a sound investment because they don't think that you're gonna get reelected, then you're cooked. They're not gonna give you money. And then you lose the race. And then you're definitely cooked. At that point, you're cooked. You're cooked beyond recognition.